10 for Tendulkar, and he was to capitalize on it. Anything short outside the off stump, and he goes after it.
He loves them in that direction. Short ball on or outside the off stump, and Sachin Tendulkar just rocks onto his back foot and hits it.
Some of the shots that he played outside that off stump were uppish, but they did not find a fielder, and many times they found the boundary. And if the South Africans were guilty of wrongdoing, it was feeding Tendulkar with short deliveries outside that off stump, giving him too much width to play the shot.
Yes, with the other Indian batsmen, they were much closer to the off stump. But in Sachin Tendulkar's case, they pitched it far too short and far too wide, giving him the width to play his favorite shot.
With the war paint and some spectacular spectacles, Alan Donald looked a little like Ian Botham or Alan Lamb, or maybe even Clive Rice. And this is the shot off the back foot, and what a delightful one it was that saw Sachin Tendulkar to his 1,001 run in Test cricket. For those 3 runs, having turned 19 in April, by quite some margin, the youngest man ever to score 1,000 runs in Test cricket. Before that, his teammate and the vastly experienced Kapil Dev was the youngest at 21 years and 27 days. In the middle of the picture there, you saw Sir Colin Cowdrey, chairman of the International Cricket Council. And wasn't that a charming shot off the back foot? Tendulkar, such a fine young player.
Delightful timing there, just standing on his toes and hitting the ball to the right of the cover point.
Again, Alan Donald pitching it short and wide outside the off stump, giving Tendulkar the width to crack it away for 4.
He fairly smashed that one. What a way to go to his 50, because Tendulkar had been stuck on 49. There he's smashing it.
50 in 105 minutes.
See that first movement forward, then rocks back onto the back foot, and he really gave that a whack. Just 84 balls to go to 53 with 10 delightful boundaries. Brian McMillan was also guilty of bowling too wide outside the off stump to him.
When Sachin Tendulkar is in form, there's very little that one can do. He not only hits the good balls, but of course he never misses the opportunity with the bad delivery. This was a bad delivery.
Does play that shot a little uppishly often, Sunil.
I think that's because of the bounce on the South African wickets. I think he's playing with the bounce, rising along with the ball and hitting it clean.
Oh, that's a majestic shot.
Absolutely unbelievable. He hit that shot as if a medium pacer was on. And it is true that the South African bowlers have been bowling at less than full pace to Sachin whenever he's facing, and they go up a gear or two when the other batsman is being bowled to. But what a shot.
And it came after he had been becalmed, Sunil, for a long, long time.
That certainly must have taken the pressure off him, because he knew that only number 10 and 11 were with him.
A wonderful atmosphere at the Wanderers on this third day, with over 21,000 people coming into a ground that has a capacity of around 32,000. That was Kumble having a go at one outside the off stump, and Brian McMillan not amused.
But no bowler is amused when the ball goes uppishly and there is no fielder. Safe it looks from here, but a very risky shot.
Tendulkar resuming at 75 and scored very slowly in the session before lunch, but what a lovely shot to play to go to his 4th Test 100.
That is a classical way to get to a century, and the entire Indian team standing up to applaud this young man. He's reached all his centuries in great style. It's never been the push for a single. It's always been a drive or a glide which has got him to his 4 Test 100s. Look at the excited Indian supporters.
Exactly 6 hours in the making, with 17 delightful fours, most of them on the offside and most of them from the square cut, but this was a classical off drive
to a ball which wasn't even well pitched up.
And suddenly, having got to his 100, he produced some memorable shots, picking that one up off his pads and hitting it through mid-wicket for 4.
With the pressure off, with the century under his belt, Sachin Tendulkar definitely was far more relaxed, and once this half volley came along, he found the gap, and there was no need actually for him even to start running. He knew as soon as he struck it and found the gap that it was going to be 4 runs.
How true. But when he had got to 111, he just didn't get hold of one from Hansi Cronje, the medium pacer, and hit it straight into the hands of Hudson at mid-on. Disappointing end to a magnificent innings.
Tendulkar well aware that with only Srinath to follow, and not very certain of how long Kumble would stay with him, decided to go for the runs. Didn't get hold of that one at all. The bat also turned in his hand slightly, opened the face of the bat, and the resultant pull landed up in Hudson's hands and put on.